kick it off, or shall I?
Nah, you kick it off, because who knows what'll come. Knows what I'll say.
How do I switch the boards?
Oh, yeah. There you go. Should be good.
Okay. All right. Hello, folks. I'm Paul Whitehead, and I'm in downtown San Francisco, joined by Nick DeFermian here, and it's the Tuesday night marathon. How you doing, Nick?
Good. Life is good in downtown San Francisco there?
Yeah, I mean, Abel and I took a walk over to North Beach, had some coffee, talked a little chess, and now
Did you run into like Scorsese or De Niro or anybody?
no wise guys. No, just the usual cafe habitués, I guess, and we joined them, and now we're here back in the club and getting this tournament going here. So anyway, Nick, we have a little bit of technical difficulties. Some of the boards are not showing up on or in the wrong DGT order, so we're going to skip over those games.
Okay, well done. That happens in this world, that you have everything functioning, but suddenly it doesn't digitally, and we're going to deal with that.
Yeah. So quickly, let's just go through what we've got here, which is board one. This is round 3 of the Tuesday night marathon, and the longest running weekly tournament held in the United States. We held it online for over a year during the pandemic, and now we're back in person. I'm here at the club, and then room next to me there's over 60 players all battling it out, wearing masks, and this is board 1. I'm going to go back to the beginning so I can understand, with your help, Nick, what's going on. These are well, this is National Master Siddharth Arun versus Nicholas Wang, a young player on his way up.
Now, Nicholas Wang, I'm familiar with, but Siddharth Arun, how old is he?
Yeah, he's a guy in his 20s, I think.
Okay, we won't call him old. That's
No, not yet.
It would be allowed.
Compared to Nicholas, who I think is at 14 or 15. So, anyway, Nick, let's see how this game started out. So, Nicholas is a nice aggressive player. I like watching his games. And Siddharth I don't know much about.
So it's like the kind of English opening, the fianchetto. It's from a Queen's Indian or something, and symmetrical play, and pawn to d6 is saying, I don't want to just copy you. I'm going to take a little bit of a hedgehog position. So
you mean this pawn to d6 right here?
Instead of, for instance, pawn takes d4, pawn takes d4, pawn to d5, pawn to d6 says, I'll take a little less space and place my pieces actively.
Right. Now, doesn't it strike you odd that black plays queen c7 instead of queen e7, maybe?
It is opposing the rook on c1, but okay, it's more of a hedgehog move. The black queen goes to c7.
And eventually winds up on a8 or something like that.
Yes, that black rook comes to c8 or something, and
Right.
black queen does a Nimzovich maneuver.
Okay. You know, I was watching some of the World Cup commentary today. Did you see any of it, Nick?
Well, not the commentary. I mean, I'm so happy Sam Shankland is in the quarterfinals.
Right.
It's just great.
Yeah, I watched the playoffs between Grishuk and Dubov, rather.
Two amazing players already in that, and I didn't see who won that.
Dubov won.
Wow, he knocked out Grishuk, who's been
Knocked out Grishuk. Grishuk missed a draw in a complicated, down to the wire endgame.
I mean, Grishuk has been a perennial member of the candidates tournament for the last 10 years. He's really something. So now his younger opponent knocked him out in this one of two qualifiers. So, I don't know, kind of a statement game.
And Carlsen finally squeaked past in the Blitz playoff with Esipenko, who really is a talent. It's incredible. He just played Carlsen evenly throughout the rapid playoffs, and then it was only in the Blitz that he lost. I'm wondering how long Carlsen can keep this up.
Well, so Carlsen is in the quarterfinals. You know,
Yeah.
Eight players left, Sam Shankland being one of the other. And to me, thank God that Sam doesn't play Carlsen in the next match. It's
Look at this move that Siddhartha Run just played 91. I do not like that move. I would say to my students, don't move your pieces backward in the opening like this.
I mean, in generally, you don't put knights on the first rank.
And it's hard to even understand what White's trying to do with this move.
Maybe knight to c2, get it over to the queen side.
All right, we'll come back to this. And like I said, I'm going to have to skip over some of these games. On second board, I'm going to go back to the beginning because that's the way. This is Christophe Bambou, who is a master, no, actually a strong expert, 21-21, versus Richard Liu, who is an A player, 18-24 is his rating. And we have okay, this is interesting. Black plays d6 against the Sveshnikov.
Yeah, I've seen that move. It's a tricky move. It shouldn't be good that you allow white the pawn center, but
and black usually plays knight f6 here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, but instead black takes, allowing white to get the pawn center, and pretends that nothing is wrong.
And then the white knight can come to c3 because you traded off those pawns.
Hi, Michael Walters in the chat and saying Judith Polgar played d6, and I played it as well, and taking is a mistake according to him.
Well, Michael, if Paul played it and Judith played it, it can't be bad.
She played it against Karpov.
Well, probably Paul didn't try that against Karpov, but I'm sure Paul got a good position against his opponent with his d6.
So bishop b5 check. I don't know about that. Maybe it's good. Fast developing move.
Well, how do you answer? It's you don't want to move the king. bishop to d7, you just go back bishop e2, and
But white played e5 instead.
okay, this starts the tactics, and all right, if they're good, that's great. But what's going on?
So we're being asked, what do we think about Sam Shanklin's run of success at the World Cup? Well, I'm insanely jealous. I think I should be there instead, but
Nah, it's just
it's
great.
great for
Sam the
Sam.
man, it's I'm thrilled to see it.
Yeah, he's a real a hometown hero. I mean, without a doubt.
It's like Orinda is about 15 miles from San Francisco. It's
Yeah,
he's
and Sam plays chess at the club here at the Mechanics. He's played in our Blitz events. He played here as a young man. He's a great
and
player.
he's come coach a lot of young kids there in the summer camps there.
He brought Wesley So to the club. Yeah, he loves the Mechanics Chess Club, and the love has returned. Go Sam! We play Carlson in the final and beat him.
Well, if he gets to the final, he's already in the candidates tournament. So
Yeah,
this is what Sam has to do: win 2 more matches, beat Peter Svidler. Oh, which really, really hard. And can he win 2 more matches? And
he's due to play the Minister of Defense in his next match.
Karyakin.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Karyakin is super experienced player, but Sam is playing well. So really tough pairing, but better than Carlson.
Well, if he beats Karyakin, he may get Carlson. Well, he can only play Carlson in the final, I think.
Well, that is good news. I mean, it's in a way, it's unfair for anybody to be playing Carlson because they're trying to just make sure the candidates tournament.
But Sam has already guaranteed himself a place in the Grand Prix.
Yes, already a success.
So that's a step forward into the world championship cycle as well.
And I have to say, Sam chose this moment. It was very important in his career. The pandemic had happened, all this stuff going on, and he just supercharged his career with a lot of energy with this performance.
And he just won this tournament beforehand, so he's on fire here. Didn't he win in BL, or what was the name of the tournament that he just won?
I think Beal was someone else, but yeah.
Yeah, Sam won a tournament just recently in Europe. And with a 2,900 performance rating, as far as I remember. So he's really on fire now.
And I just love it. Thank you. In Prague, yes. That was a very good tournament, but what Sam is doing here is just far more impressive even than that. So.
Let's get back to this game here. White plays e5, trying to blow black off the board. Black takes, white takes. Black moves the knight to g4. And now e6 is the move I want to play if I'm white, but I guess that doesn't seem to work to bishop c3 and bishop takes b5.
Yeah, it's okay, this e5 was super aggressive. Kind of need a good move to follow it up.
Well, he defended his e5 pawn. And black jumped out with the queen and said to white, look over there. Maybe you want to see queen takes b f2 mate. White
Yeah.
trades.
You see, because I would love to go knight d5, but queen takes f2 mate is
Right.
kind of annoying.
Well, black went ahead and took the pawn in the middle of the board. And white is thinking how to continue here.
With the extra tempo. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Down a pawn, but maybe there's some compensation here.
this is like a really high level game. I was thinking, wow, are we watching the World Cup or watching the Tuesday Night Marathon? It's very principled.
Yeah.
Black is played to defend, grab a pawn, and white pressing the initiative. Um, so normally I would go knight takes e5 just to drag that out. Maybe knight takes e5 and then knight to d5.
Some compensation, for sure.
Well, it's very tactical at this point.
Even a quiet move like rook e1 might be possible here.
Yes. Um, and you're not faulting either player's play. The black is pressed the initiative, tried to grab the center, and white even more impressive to say, okay, I'm ahead in development. I'm trying to make the use of my initiative, and I'm even going to sacrifice a pawn.
So I was gonna say I was listening to the commentary on the Fresenet and Loic van Vele. Do you know those guys personally?
Oh, yes, yes,
Both of them?
yes.
Because it seemed to me there was a little bit of antipathy between the two of them.
Well, Luke van Velde is Dutch and was the highest rated natural Dutch player for many years. And Laurent Frisinet just was one of the best French players. Um, Etienne Bacrot was way up there.
And by the
too.
way, speaking of Bacro, I think he got into the last 16 as well. And Vachier got knocked out by Karyakin.
Oh yeah, which is a shame. I mean, okay, Karyakin, Bashir, both great players. Who's going to advance?
Well, it turned out to be Bacro. He had the easier pairing. He played the Pole. Um, Purson, what's his name? I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his name. But Bacro advances. Vacher stays behind. Purin. Yeah.
Which it's just very hard to make it each level. I mean, because you're playing one great player for a knockout match, and maybe you're slightly favored or slightly an underdog, but it could go either way. So, but Crow is still in.
So we're waiting for White's knockout blow. Oh, this is interesting. Bacro and Gusenev prepare together. Well,
Now, but that means that they've each lost a game. Is that correct?
I think it's over. Bacro advances, and Vacher is out.
Okay. Oh, but where is Gusenev among this?
Oh, Gusenev, he's not playing.
Okay, I thought you cited his name, but
No. Michael Walder's in the chat and says that Bacro and Gusenev prepared together.
oh, okay. Well, they're both great players, but Gusenev's not in, and Bako just oh, he just advanced. You say?
Yeah, he advanced into the quarterfinals. And he gets to play Carlsen.
Well, okay, that's an honor. And if you beat Carlson, you're you're almost in the candidates. So
All right, we are going to skip board 3, which is not working properly, and we're going to move over to board 4, where Caven Reese, rated 1900, is playing Christian Clements, who is rated 1999, 1997, and is a much improved player in the last couple of years. A mainstay of the Mechanics Institute online play. And what do you think's happening here, Nick? Or shall we go back to the beginning? Why not? And see how we got here. It's a Scotch game. I'm sorry, it's a Petrov with d4. Knight takes e4. And what do we know about this line? Doesn't White usually play bishop d3 here? Nick?
yes, that's the normal move. Just develop, attack the knight.
So what happens on bishop c5?
So bishop d3, bishop c5, bishop takes knight on e4.
No, I'm saying no. White instead played d takes e5, so I'm wondering why Black didn't play bishop to c5. Maybe it's
That is a very provocative move. Yes, yes.
because d takes e5 is not the normal move here, right?
And therefore somewhat suspect for something like bishop c5. You go
Queen
bishop to
d5. Or do you treat it like a two knights defense and play bishop c4 or something?
yes, one of those. I was going bishop c4 for king's gambit, but your bishop to queen to d5 just challenges the issue. You know that.
So why isn't d takes e5 played?
You know, it's because it looks so risky. Because bishop t5 looks like, hey, that's great. Now, meanwhile, you could also go just d5 is black if you're saying,
And that's
I know the guy's got something
and that's
sleazy
what
up
he
his.
did.
Okay,
Black played d5.
just say
Right. Then bishop d3, and I think we might have gotten into a normal position now.
by transposition.
Right.
Yes. So,
But I need bishop e4 is certainly not the right move here.
no. Wow. Why did he do that?
Well,
That's,
maybe he's just not booked up, Nick.
I mean, that is odd. You give up a bishop for a knight, and you're starting this tactical sequence of takes, queens may get traded, and
Surely Black's fine here.
surely black's fine. Was this a try to make a draw? Because
So Black
if
plays
bishop,
an knight c6 is a good move. Seems to me, right?
seems to me too, and is the idea just
And White played e6. So far things are in the balance, but Black is gaining a lead in development here, and I like that move. I think.
okay? You could go bishop e6. Oh, okay. He's trying to be really aggressive, which may be a very good move. Just bishop takes e6. Black is a little better, but on to f5 and tends to
Yeah, just gain a huge and showing a lot of calm in the storm here. And White's
okay,
just
knight
wasting.
f7 you didn't have to do right away, but
White's in a hurry to trade, and has fallen way behind in development here.
So that e6 pawn looks like a goner.
It's gone, and white manages to get the c7 pawn, but I think white's skating on really thin ice here.
So white maintains material equality, but way down in development. Um, and even though it's an end game, uh, this is going to be black under big pressure, or sorry, white under big pressure. Yes. What do
And
you
white
do now? C2 is hanging, rook
and
c8.
white's losing a pawn, at least.
So, okay, that is the best practical decision. You're in trouble. Admit that you're in trouble and just trade.
And now we have bishops of opposite colors, with black having a big positional advantage as
Yes.
well.
Clear extra pawn and big positional advantage. But that was the best that white could do, and this has real drawing chances.
Well, white's play has been not inspiring.
Yes, he went wrong.
All right,
And
I'm going to zoom up to the next game, which is Chelsea. These are two youngsters. Chelsea Zhao, rated 1879, versus Andrew Gu, rated 1885.
speaking of the youngsters, is Leon Quinn there playing tonight?
He is, and we're going to look at one of his games in a minute. Okay, so when white plays e3, there's a Benoni declined, I guess. And black doesn't play straight into the center, so it looks kind of like an Alekhine's almost.
Well, white gets a little edge in space.
Right. And this is, what about this development of the king bishop to g2? That's kind of interesting.
It's a little aggressive, so I like it. But maybe black can develop with knight c6 and try to target the dark squares in white's position.
And that's kind of what's happening here. And black, I'm not sure about black's queen b6 and rook c8.
The white is moving the pawns, and if they control the squares, that's great. If black can make them targets, then black is happy. But that's the battle right now.
I think black has failed a little bit here. But white still has to figure out a way to press home her advantage.
Yeah, maybe just bishop f4, pawn to f3, or queen to b3. White should have a spatial advantage.
Well, I like queen b3 here, yeah. Okay, let's move on. And we have to skip another game. And then we have two youngsters, two great kids here at the club. Promising young players. Kevin Sun versus Leon Quinn. Two talented players.
That's terrific. I love to see the young ones just coming up. And Leon Quinn was in the club again, trying to solve these Tony Lama's checkmate in 3 or checkmate in 4. And he studies all the time. So, and Kevin Sun, just a great, talented young player. So,
and look at this. We get the Gusenev bishop to b5 move, right? That funny bishop to b5 move. Carlsen plays it too, right?
You were discussing trends. in our lovely chess cafe on Mondays. It's
Fashions.
fashions, uh, Ralph Lauren or uh,
Chris
who are the other
Dior.
people? Uh, yeah, that's but we have our chess fashion people.
This is this the Gap opening? Or something like that?
Well, that
Macy's,
would be my style.
right? Old Navy. This is the Old Navy chess
Sensible,
move.
low budget play.
Okay, Michael's setting us straight. It's the Tivyakov. Tivyakov Bishop B5.
I'm not sure he's the same as the Gap and Old Navy. But, okay.
All right, so E6. I'm going to pass over this because it looks normal. I mean, this is, you have to know how to play this stuff with black and with white, I suppose. And I wouldn't be so quick to play E5 if I was white, but maybe it's good.
Yes, it's all about the double pawns that Black has. That are those going to get stopped?
Yeah, white likes to play C4. My positions are more like the Salvation Army. Yeah, there you go. The thrift town, thrift store openings. It doesn't have to be high fashion. It can be low fashion as well, I suppose.
Oh yeah, if it works, it works. That's the beauty of chess. What was that? I mean, you were quoting people in the chess community. There was Parash saying this move looks ugly, and Nimzovich saying the uh, beauty of a move is not in initial appearance, but in the idea behind it. And
Right. Some of us are more attracted to the flashy moves.
yes, it's funny this pawn structure Black has. Like everything's good, the two bishops, the center and stuff. You have these double pawns, and if white can just kind of blockade things, get a pawn on c4. It restrains black on the queen side.
It looks like black's trying to play C4 himself. Or maybe
Yes,
F6.
I would have just gone c4 right away, but queen c8 looks good. I hate this move a3.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to fit in well.
It's
Here
you
comes
weaken,
C4.
and that looks like black is starting to break things open.
Yeah, see now
Get
if
in
the
an
pawn was at
initiative.
A2, white could just play D takes C4, but then comes knight C4 maybe. So things are getting kind of complicated. All right, white's still trying to keep it blocked up here, but I have a feeling black is going to be able to open this up.
Well, already being able to trade off the double pawn.
Yeah, this has been a
Plus,
bit of a failure for white, I think.
yes, and black is opening the board for black on the side black is doing well. So it's and traded off the double pawn and has the bishop pair. So that's just not what you wanted to do with the white side.
But white's making a little bit of a recovery here, maybe, or trying to. And black is
Temporarily,
thinking.
but don't like this. That's Chelsea has the white side, you
No,
say.
this is Kevin's son and Leon Quinn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, this is
Leon.
Leon, who we had Hans Niemann, this talented young player who just loved to play, and so he's moved on, become a grandmaster, world open champion just a month ago.
And now the U.S. Junior Champion.
Yes, so great to see, and he grew up in chess wise in the mechanics.
Are you predicting that Leon Quinn or Kevin's son are going to become the next Hans Niemann?
Well, I'm certainly Leon Quinn. I'm seeing a lot of him, and he could easily become a Hans Niemann.
Well, he's in a deep think here with black as to how to proceed. What do you think he should do here?
Yeah, I mean, lots. You could go knight to d7, bishop to a8. Could go pawn to d4.
He plays pawn to d4.
Yeah, that's a risky move. I might have delayed it, but it's principle that blocks the black squared, the white bishop on the black squares, and pulls that long light square diagonal.
And black immediately takes on e4.
Okay. You know, what is going on? Maybe this is good. Takes is the
But rook takes e4, and we're still. I'm not sure what we're looking at here.
yeah. I hate giving away that wonderful light squared bishop. It's such a powerful piece. I don't think Leon should have done that.
All right. Well, we'll come back to this. Let's move on down to Adam Stafford, another kid, playing Albert Starr. And let's go all the way back here. Albert's another one of our players.
Albert is a veteran player.
Thanks, Neil. And it makes me smile to see you say that. Thank you very much. We're hanging in there here at the club, trying to bring you the best chess that we can.
Right, and we have Mike Walder in the chat, who's such a great analyst, and so he will point out a lot of things too. You will likely miss.
So here we have another Petrov and another interesting move, Bishop c4. What do you think of that move, Nick?
You know, in my day, everybody would play principally. You grab the pawn, you try to squeeze some little edge out of the Petrov. Now they just play Bishop c4 or some other move that makes it a wilder game, and I like that.
I should mention that this is the game that we were looking at before, Kevin's son and Leon Quinn, was board 1 in the under 1800 section. Oh, I'm sorry, in the under 2000 section. No, the under 1800 section. No, the under 2000. I keep in the under 2000 section. And this game is board 2 in the under 2000 section.
And there's also the under
1600. Under 1800, right. No, under 1600.
Is it under 16, not under 14?
So we have a 2000 plus section, an under 2000, and an under 1600 section. And this is the board 2 of the under 2000 section. All right, so let's see how Albert handled this bishop c4 move. He jumped and took the pawn.
Wow, people. I mean, it's probably the best move, but people get aggressive. Could
And
have
look
gone
at,
knight to c6. It would have been a two knights defense.
okay, so knight to c, all right. So instead, knight takes c4. Now knight to c3, gambit style.
Well, it is quick development. Morphy would probably have tried this sometime.
And Albert, you know, we were talking about this knight to d6 move with Albert. Remember that?
Indeed, that
And
that
now he's using it.
yes, attacks the bishop on c4, guards the pawn on f7.
It might have been simpler to just take on c3, but okay.
Well, that there have been some games with that, and
Okay.
d takes c3. White has lots of development, and
Okay.
your first question is how you would guard the 5 pawn.
Okay, well, black sidesteps with this move, knight d6, and white simply goes back. Something tells me this is a book position.
Okay, now it's a book position.
Albert's a wily veteran, for sure.
So black has gotten a fairly good development. You just go bishop e7, rook e1, and then just castles.
But he plays bishop f6 instead. He didn't castle.
Okay. You know, okay, you're maybe it's fine and maybe it's good, but what happens on d4?
Which was played.
And
And black sidesteps with e4. It would have been simpler for black just to have castles here, I think.
yes, if he had just castled instead of bishop f6, black
All
is in
right. So
zero
black pitches
trouble.
the pawn this way, and then this is interesting. White could take on d6 as well, doubling up the pawns.
Yes, black just got into trouble by trying to hold the pawn one move too many.
But maybe this is not the right move, taking on f6. It's certainly tempting.
I would take on d6, play pawn to c3, and you have this big positional advantage for the rest of the game.
All right, so knight d6 and c3. All right, so white plays knight f6, and then maybe he can knock black out with something like bishop g5 and d5. Maybe not.
Well, white's still better. I mean, what a terrible move, that bishop to f6. Albert, you've done a good job in the opening, but then followed it up with a bit of greed.
Yeah, and I think maybe bishop g5 would almost win the game here. I mean, bishop g5, queen moves, d5, bishop e7, trying to take advantage of the back rank weakness. Rook e8, bishop takes d6, and if rook e1, queen e1.
Yeah, it's a bit involved. I mean, there are ways for black to salvage the piece. Bishop g5, queen g6, e5. Could we go f6? No, oh no, we can't go f6.
I mean, black is on the verge of collapse here. Michael's agreeing with me, which makes me very proud of myself.
Michael, you have to root for the underdog.
All right, let's see what happens here. By the way, the ratings of these players are 1473 for white and 1609 for black.
Okay,
All right.
well, in that case, you know, it's almost 200 points that white is playing up.
C3 white played
C3 just
a
slow.
little too slow. Black plays B6, which is consistent.
But now they can do your plan again, which was really good. bishop to g5.
Well, white plays bishop to c2 instead. And Albert maybe
Oh,
recognizes some danger here, but white looks like he's in control here. More and
okay, that
more.
was a fine move. Pawn to g6.
Bishop g5 and queen c1. Why not? Oh, queen d2, knight c4 maybe.
What? Yeah,
But then
it's
queen f4 would have been good. So white could have stepped up with the queen.
black is under pressure.
Yeah.
Those dark squares and such things. Albert should not have done this, and look how quickly they're playing.
Well, Albert always plays quickly. But he's almost got his pieces out of the box here.
Nice move, bishop to b7. So he's solved the back rank mate problem. White still has nice active minor pieces in the bishop pair. So,
All right, he's pitching the pawn at a2, but Albert doesn't take it. Maybe it's too dangerous. The queen takes c7.
I would have maybe gotten greedy, yes, and taken, but
This looks like a bad endgame for black, but white's playing for the attack.
but an end game is at least, you know, you can play. It's going to be a long time till the result.
White is putting on the Ritz here. Black is trying to trade. Queens, good move, Albert. Although d5 seems to win a piece here for white.
A simple fork, and forget about the queens attacking each other.
Yeah, d5.
Very clever, Paul. Very, very clever.
But he
Pawn to
didn't
d5
see.
would
Oh, he
win
played
the
it.
game.
He played it. Albert's lost.
Okay, he is lost, but doesn't mean he's going to lose.
All right. So takes.
So he has lost a pawn. It's not good. Of course, it's not good, but
It's certainly not good. Okay, but white's getting his rook into a funny spot here.
okay, yeah, that's
f4 is a good move, though. And black tries to trade, but that's not going to help black.
Oh yes, trading is not.
White's playing a good game, Nick.
Yeah, he's playing great. Now, and Albert though is a serious tournament veteran.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a swindle here, Albert's going to find it, but he's lost another pawn.
Why did he give up the second pawn?
I think he's just floundering here, Nick.
There was no reason. If
And
you'd saved one pawn,
and White's simply trading and doing everything he's supposed to do.
yeah,
This is
playing too
miserable.
quickly.
And White's got his eye on the ball here with the king. Oh, yikes!
Move the king out.
RIP is actually a decent evaluation of this position. But White's having fun with the king, Nick.
Knight takes g6 is in the offing.
Well, just brutally going in for the pawns, and black sets in motion his d pawn.
All right, Albert, that's the way to do it. Although he's not really gonna make it there.
White stops him at the pass, and there's
okay.
too many pieces controlling the d2 square.
Oh, he found it. Albert had a threat of bishop takes f3 and pawn to d2. But Now it's tough. You had your shots to the end, Albert. That was, but
Well, the game
didn't
is still in
coordinate it well.
progress. And finally, we've got board one in the under 1600 section. No, I'm sorry. This is board three in the under 2000 section. And White is a player that outranks his opponent by over 200 points, almost 300 points. The rating is 1795, and Black's rating is 1513. So big rating difference here. Let's go back to the beginning. Boom, boom, boom. The old King's Indian attack versus the Carol Khan setup.
Which Bobby Fischer did once against the Trojan. He didn't want to push his pawns all the way to the center, so he got this setup.
How did Fischer do in that game?
Well, it was a draw, which happens a lot against Petrosian, but Fischer was probably winning at one point. So he was good with this King's Indian attack.
The game I remember from this is Tal versus Smyslov from 1959.
In the candidates tournament?
Yeah, where Tal played D3 and beat Smyslov in an incredible game.
Okay. And Smyslov was...
And in this position, Smyslov played knight D7 after knight F3, I think. And Tal played D4.
And Smyslov had been the challenger last time, or actually the champion, and then the dethroned champion. So he probably thought he was going to win that candidates tournament.
And along came Tal.
And also lurking in the back was Kirez, who was not given his due after World War II because he was Estonian, and in the Soviet Union, he wasn't allowed to freely do what he wanted.
I was at Kerez's last tournament in 1975. I went up to Vancouver and played in a tournament up there that later became the Kerez Memorial. And I was stunned to see Kerez playing there. And he won the tournament. He beat Walter Brown in the last round.
What an incredible feat, too. Walter Brown in the 1970s was the best player in North America.
And I remember being quite impressed by Kerez. He always wore a suit, and he sat very quietly with his hands in his lap and just reached out and made a move and was, just all business, Nick.
He had been through a lot, the World War II and such things, and he was such a dignified person.
Yeah, he really gave that impression of just being like, from another time. Actually, he gave that impression. He was,
and I believe he died on his way returning from the tournament.
It's amazing. It's an amazing story.
But such a feat. He was about 52 or 3, and he was beating the best players in the world. He was playing Walter Brown, this young, aggressive upstart who was almost beating Fischer and Karpov and people. And Kerez in the last round beat him, won the tournament. Such a high level at that age.
Yeah. His play had this effortless quality to it. I remember, like very serene, and you know, he was never in trouble. He just played without, you know, like the most natural thing in the world.
Well, one of the absolute great all-time players, belongs up there with the world champions, and may have been a world champion except for the start of World War II.
Yeah, we were just talking about the Avro tournament um, in the chess cafe. We were playing over Salmatera showed a game where Keras beat Capablanca.
And that was 1938.
1938.
And you were there with Keras in 1975, almost 40 years later.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Legendary. I've been lucky to see some of the great players, and I know you have too. These, especially these
But
Russians from a certain
I never met
time.
Keras, who I absolutely respect as a chess player, just this classic chess player. And
Yeah.
but that means he must have been in his 60s then. If
Did you see the game that he beat Brown in have you ever seen that game?
you know, I'm going to have to revisit that game because what a legend! Walter Brown was dominant in U.S. chess in 1975. He was.
Yeah, it's a
He just
real
fished.
it's a master class in defensive play. Keras was black, and I think it was a uh, it might have been a Gyoko piano or a Petrov. I think it might have been a Petrov defense. And Keras just, you know, maintained the e5 pawn and played like this third rank defense with his rook and beat off the, you know, Brown's aggressive play. And, you know, and then a few shots later and well calculated shots later. And it was kind of like, you know, Brown's overextended position collapsed. It was really a
Well,
great game.
Walter Brown was in his 20s and then, and so he was. It's strange how chess has changed because now it's such a young man's game. But there, Walter Brown was in his 20s, which is always a great time to play chess. There is about 60 or something, and still just he wasn't playing a senior tournament. He was just beating all the best players of the world, regardless of age.
Yeah, there was a few of those Russian guys like Korchnoi and Smyslov that were doing the same thing, I think.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, let's see how this game goes. Yeah, it's possible for maybe White to think about playing pawn to d4 here. It looks strange, but all right. I like that tall idea of but I was having a discussion with a student of mine about, you know, White about the, you know, when a player takes activity on the wing that you should strike in the center, kind of thing. That looks like a decent move here, playing d4. I'm not opposed to that.
White's got space. Objectively, White cannot be worse, but Black's strategy is just king-side advance.
Now, knight b6, I'm not so sure about.
Might be to the wrong side of the board.
Maybe pawn to c4 and knight to c5. If you don't want to play b5 and c4. Knight b6 looks a little bizarre.
Yeah, a bit slow at least. Yes, why do you do that move?
Still, okay, so White plays this funny exchange on e7. Doesn't even try for the two bishops. It still looks fine for black, to me, but... And white's thinking. All right, well, I'm going to run back up to the top board, Nick. Where...
And we don't have Elliot Winslow playing the top board this time because he's flown off to the U.S. Senior at the U.S. Open in Berry Hill, New Jersey.
Yeah, I know. Are you going to go, Nick?
No. I'm staying here.
Okay.
Following the Tuesday night marathon.
So we left off at this point where white played knight e1 and black centralized the rook, and white has made this maneuver, knight to c2, and black plays d5 with the rook opposite the queen, which looks risky to me. And white's still thinking. How about that, Nick? Only a couple of moves have been played.
Well, this maneuver, knight e1, c2, is not worth the time. You know, it's not, no disaster, nothing wrong, but two moves to move your knight from f3 to c2, where probably not as good. It's
Funny
not
chess. Funny
not
chess.
beneficial. Yeah.
All right.
So black has done everything right and must be a little bit better.
Let's move on to the board 2 game. And I think we were here. And black took there, and white did take on e5. And black took back with the bishop.
Okay, now various things to do that are complicated. You can go bishop h6, stop you from castling. Throw in knight to d5 first. It's going to be tactical no matter what, but
it's interesting that you thought of bishop h6 first, and I'm not going to boast, but actually that was the first move that occurred to me as well.
Well, if they
as
play
being
it, we
a
better
good move.
He wins.
As being a decent move. So white takes instead on e5, which goes against the idea that you shouldn't be exchanging pieces while attacking or being behind in material. But maybe he's
It's a less aggressive move than bishop h6.
Maybe he's got a particular idea in mind.
Well, you could go rook to e1.
But he plays knight to d5.
I might have gone rook to e1 first and then knight to d5.
Okay.
Because now things are guarded. You have this one tempo, you're ahead in development. You have to make it work. You have to make it useful.
So it could go like rook e1, knight c6, knight d5, queen d8, knight f6 check or something like that.
Something like that. Just move the stuff. It's
It's trying to be disruptive, and black moves the king. So
check. Oh, he moves the. You could have gone just knight c6.
That's what I was thinking.
And then there's no stopping castling.
Yeah, except for some move like knight b6, which doesn't look like it works. You just move the rook.
Not too scary.
Yeah, he plays king f8. That's a little bit strange.
Now, okay, it takes you 2 moves to get the rook in the game, so...
And white centralizes and waits for something to happen here. And black's
I like that. King to g7 saying, do your worst. Where's your discovery? Because there wasn't a great one. Now rook e1. What happens if rook to d8? Rook on h8 to d8. So, On the other hand, that rook on d1 is defended by the second rook and the queen. So there is a discovery to be made. And what can you do? Like knight c6, knight to b6 wins the exchange. Um,
Yeah, Black made maybe didn't play this as well as he could have. White seems to have a little bit of pressure now.
okay, but makes it very interesting. It's a nice and balanced game. For one pawn, white has pressure. Um, either side could lose, so it's good.
He plays f6, so he's going to play this knight back to c6. But does this?
Oh no, not
I don't
not
think
not
it works.
f6 is just wrong. Say pawn to f4, knight c6, knight takes e7.
Black has queen c5 check there.
Yeah, it's
White could play queen d4 then, maybe.
well, yeah, although not with the knight on c6.
Oh, that's yeah, that's true.
But something's wrong.
Something is
It-
rotten in San Francisco. You know, they say something's rotten in Denmark. Where did that expression come from, Nick? You lived in Denmark, so tell
Well,
me.
that was from Hamlet, of course.
Is that from Hamlet? Okay, good.
Hamlet.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I actually did not know that. And what do the Danes think of that?
Of
it's-
Hamlet.
Of Hamlet.
Yes. Well, you know, they've had their problems with the English, but yeah, that's supposedly based on some history there. But anyway, Shakespeare was entirely entertaining.
But not as entertaining tonight as a Tuesday night marathon.
Absolutely not. We are tops. And here we have a great position. Put yourself on the white side. You have this extra, well, your pawn down, sorry, your pawn down, but you have everything developed, the knight on d5, the rook centralized. There must be a shot. Can you find a shot for the white side? Various ideas. Pawn to f4 is one of them. Knight f4, knight takes e7. You feel there has to be something, but you need to do it quickly. You need to do it in the next move or two to justify your pawn sacrifice. So anybody watching,
somebody's asking us which Shakespeare work features a chess game. Wow,
No.
That's got me stumped. I don't know. Do you know, Nick?
marvelous question. And I'm going to have to remember this too, because not King Lear, not Hamlet. It's
It must be a comedy. Must be the comedy of errors. In my case, it would be the comedy of errors.
Well, I'm going to learn something tonight because who is this who's telling us to recognize the username, Paul?
I should know who you are, sir, and I apologize deeply for Robert. I should know who this is, and Abel will smack me. Wade Robertson. Okay, that's right. Used to play in the TNM. Yeah, hi Wade.
Oh, Wade. Yes. Thank you, Wade. And Wade, we are extremely curious to hear which Shakespeare work includes a chessboard.
Look at that. Shakespeare wrote a chess scene composed of 64 words in 8-line verse, just like a chessboard. Each section is arranged in two equal parts of 32 words, like 32 pieces in a chess game, from The Tempest.
I
You
had
know,
thought of
that's,
the Tempest, but didn't realize that. Thank you,
that's
Robert.
something that's very Johann Sebastian Bach. You know, that geometry and symmetry and uh, yeah, fantastic. I had no idea.
Wade must be a real Shakespeare scholar to
Yeah,
point this
my
out.
favorite chess. Nick, do you have a favorite chess? I mean, there's the chess, the Queen's Gambit that just came out and all that. That's really interesting stuff. And there's been other books about chess, but what's your favorite chess in the movies or chess book or that's outside of the MCO and
Oh, I
basic chess
mean,
endings?
I thought the Queen's Gambit was very well done. Very well done. Um, there were some, what sort of chess thrillers? There was a Columbo episode long ago.
That's right. I remember that with who's the actor that played the chess grandmaster? Very very good English actor. God, his name just is a wonderful actor. Actually, a very charismatic with a great face. Gosh, I can't remember. Terrence Stamp, I think, played
Oh, right.
Columbo. Yeah, that's the actor's name in that Columbo thing. Terrence Stamp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They had they had some great actors in those Columbo series back
And then
then.
I think my favorite book of all, and in fact, one of my favorite books actually is the uh, Lewis Carroll.
10-minute break.
Yeah, and I'm going to take a 10 minute. We're all going to take a 10 minute break,
We'll be right back.
and we'll be right back.
With all the action.
Okay, but actually, just right now, before we stop,
But Nick
because
is
Mike Wilder is saying we have this position, you have the right position, and it's just so juicy for White, but we can't find a punch. We're not going to cheat by getting a chess engine to analyze it, but this is usually a Mike Wilder position on the White side, but somehow Black is defending. The knight's coming back to c6.
the illusion defense. Okay.
See this one? Everything's-
Oh yeah, yeah. There's in Nabokov's book, The Defense. That's a fantastic chess book. And Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. I think those are literary. From the literary point of view, those are some of the very very top books. Anyway, folks, we are going to take a 10 minute break, and we will be back. So I'm signing off from the mechanics for 10 minutes, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Bye.
And then Sounds dramatic.
Yeah.
Lost for eternity.
All right, we're back, folks. Hi, Nick.
Hi,
There was, you know,
broadcasting again. Good.
yeah, we're broadcasting again. We're here in the live downtown San Francisco, trying to, you know, do what we can to make sure that everybody's having a good time. Actually, I have to, I think I might have to get, I'm going to have to get Abel back in here in a second. So, Nick, entertain the folks. I'll be right back.
Okay, folks, you know, as Paul said, we're trying to entertain you. 2020s, you know, downtown San Francisco. You remember back to the 1920s, the Prohibition, and life was full of action back then in downtown San Francisco. There's the speakeasies and such that still exist, these hidden rooms and things. Paul has promised you entertainment.
How you doing?
Hi, Juan.
How you doing?
And we have Juan to the rescue. You know, Juan is our technical expert. He started
Don't say so
the
yet.
broadcast for the Mechanics Institute. So we're very indebted to Juan. And when Paul or Abel have a problem,
See you later.
we
All
call
right.
on Juan.
That was a man behind the scenes, folks. Thank you, Juan. All right, saving the day once again.
Was that Batman? Was that Superman? Was that?
That was Juan
Sendejas.
Sendejas, who's a technical wizard sometimes here at the Mechanics. Did the DGT boards at the National Open. Yeah. John Turturro. All right. So where are we? Okay, so let's go back to this game. This was the top board. And after this 91 business, white's gone f4. And black, I like that move, withdrawing the queen from the c file.
Yeah, black should be a little better placed because of waste of two
And now it's
tempo.
the other knight that ends up on f3.
Okay. Still all about even, except must be a little more comfortable for black.
Jumps into e4. That looks good.
You have to be aggressive at some point to win the game. So this is going forward. So it gets a bishop for a knight.
And white jumps into the middle. And people don't know, I mean, people like me, Nick, you know, we don't know how to handle these positions that well. Like, should we trade? What should we do here? What's the thought process to figure out these kind of semi-blocked positions in the middle with a, you know, should I trade on e5? Should I move my knight at d7? Should I play f6? How do you make these decisions? You know, these are some of the most complicated decisions in chess, I find.
Absolutely. And that's what makes the world champion, that they get this position. It's sort of new to everybody. They know the themes, you know, put your pieces in the center, guard the center squares, but how do you weave the position together? What do you compose from this? And the world champions, they do that.
And I find it's, you know, I find for myself the simple positions are easier to understand. They're, you know, of course, and the more complicated middle game positions can be really daunting for people to figure out what to do. One bad exchange and suddenly you're toast. You know.
Why don't you write a song about that?
Yeah.
One
Right.
bad exchange, don't spoil the whole bunch. Oh well.
So black takes
Um,
on d4, and I guess white must take with the pawn.
yes.
And now f6.
Which is that you gotta like it. It's very aggressive. Get rid of the knight on e5. Get
Principled.
those get those pawns moving, and it's a struggle for the central squares.
And
I
white's
like
thinking.
I like the way black has played though. And I'm inclined to think that black has a little edge here.
With the two bishops and the fluid kind of situation, pawn situation, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And
Yeah,
Michael
there's
Walter's agreeing with us, so
well,
we must have something going on.
we're in good company then.
Okay. All right, let's move on here. This is board one, and it's heating up. And it's only board one because Elliot Winslow is taking a little break here. He's on his way to the New Jersey and the senior championship held simultaneously, I think, with the U.S. Open. Is that right?
Yes, I guess it's the senior open
That's
championship.
right, the senior Open championship.
And I believe that a winner qualifies for the senior closed championship just concluded, I believe, yesterday in St. Louis with a $20,000 first prize and
Wow.
like $12,000 or $15,000 second prize.
And Nick, you're thinking about playing next year, huh?
Yeah, next year I think. But this year it came down to Larry Christensen and Gregory Kaidanov. Um,
If
and
Tarzan can do it, then you can do it.
Tarzan had a fine performance.
Oh yeah,
It was nice to see.
he
You know,
was
after
+1 going into the last round and then lost.
which, for all of you who quit chess for a while or something and then come back to chess, it's always there for you. And for Jim Tarzan, he quit for 30, 35 years and came back and just totally immersed in it now.
It's absolutely spectacular.
So I got a call last night from Natasha Larry Christensen's wife because there was Jim Tarzan, who's a liberal, arguing with Larry Christensen, who takes the politically conservative track, and
Is that
uh,
right?
and Yasser Serowan's become the grandmaster in residence a lot for the St. Louis Chess Club. So apparently, he's got a house there in St. Louis, along with wife's house in Holland. So
Now, was Yasser playing middle of the road there politically?
I'm not sure. I never discussed politics with Yasser. It wasn't big on his agenda.
And that I think that shows that what a master politician he probably is himself. That somehow.
Well, back in the old days, it was all about the Soviets to begin with, because they were the dominant chess players, and they had this screwed up system that everyone had to live by.
So
I mean, if you,
so that's it. I've met Natasha online, I think, and maybe once not online, but I can't recall. Although she does, I think she mentioned that she'd met me once, and what a wonderful person she is. I really like Natasha a lot. I don't know her very well, but I mean,
she's one of our chess playing attorneys, which we have David Rakonitz, faithful member of our chess club. We had Neil Falconer, who was such a great help to the Mechanics Institute chess club.
so they'll take care of our speeding tickets, right?
That would be good.
And then there's Bob Drain, who I
I
haven't
didn't
heard from
realize
in a
he was an
while.
attorney.
Yeah, there's attorneys everywhere in chess, on the peripheries of the chess world. Um, all right, so White is still in the think tank after f6. So let's move on to board two here. And after long thought, after f6, White played queen b3. And surely that sets up the threat of knight f4, and queen b7, of course.
But you see, even Michael Wilder couldn't see a clear shot for the white side, and therefore white fought a long time. And the queen b3, that's good. That's active. You know that you're threatening the pawn on b7. You still have your discovered moves from the knight on d5. So
Well, it's interesting that Jim. Let's go back to the political situation among the chess players we know, because that interests me as well. And Michael Walder's saying Larry and Vince align politically.
that is true. Like Vince McCambridge, former um, president of the Mechanics Institute, longtime board member, but he had some years as president. And so he takes a sort of conservative point of view, as a lot of financial people do.
And now,
Uh,
now these are very tall and large people. You don't necessarily want to disagree with them too much, or they're they can really follow through their arguments with some brute force if needed. I always remember Vince as being quite a tall guy, and of course Larry is a big man. It's
because
funny.
Vince is tall, but Larry is tall and big.
Exactly. So they carry weight into their arguments.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the thin, starving chess players like uh, Tarjan and Steve Brandywine and other people with the left politics. Anyway,
Well, apparently Jimmy Tarjan was, quoting Bernie Sanders and the left wing ideas, and Larry Christensen was, taking the right wing side of it. So it was their entertainment.
I wish I had been there. I really do. Uh, funny, funny stuff. Okay, so rook HE8 or rook AB8. All right, so black is still trying to hold on here.
Well, let's take, this is good. Like, say, we'll take Mike's rook HA E8 just to guard that E7 pawn. You could just take on B7.
Yeah, White has an initiative, but he's down a pawn, so there's trouble.
Yes. Somehow it feels White ought to be better. But proving it's a hard matter.
All right, let's move on. This is board two. And on board three, we could not see that game, so we're going to go to board four. And this game a lot of things have happened here. I want to back up a little bit. This was the game where black was sort of dominating, was not only a pawn up, but had a kind of a dominating position. Although it is bishops of opposite colors.
Oh, she traded. Now there's point chances are not so bad.
White's putting up a stout defense here.
Yes, now it's a pawn down bishop's opposite color ending, which that's not the end of the world. It's
Black seems to be finding it difficult to find anything to do here. This has become very difficult now.
the pawn to b4. How are you going to advance on the black side? I think objectively this should be a draw.
Okay.
I mean, it was certainly winning for black, soon out of the opening, but
So somewhere back here, Black started to give it away.
yes.
And maybe even before this. Although I suspect Black should be much better here. But
Yes.
it started, first of all, he wasn't able to maintain the rook on the 7th rank. So
Well,
maybe
that's
Black,
after
maybe,
White threatened to trade.
maybe
He
Black
probably should have.
double
Well,
rook
he should
here.
not have taken. He should not have taken. I
Yeah.
think we should double and maintain a rook on the 7th rank
Yeah.
because it's more powerful there.
Yeah, and so this starts to give away. The White grabs the open file, and Black can't play rook d2, and the win starts to become problematic here.
Yes. So that rook exchange, I'll just ham.
Yeah. And Black is able to play g5, but White stops him from playing f4, and actually it becomes quite difficult for Black to play f4 at all. And we're at this point in the game, and Black is trying to come around to g4 to play f4 check. And even if he achieves that, it's not necessarily, going to win the game. And White's liquidating more pawns, or trying to, on the queen side. So,
Yeah. It's somehow should be okay for black. Or sorry, for white.
yeah. Okay, let's move on. And we've got this game, which I think we were about here, Nick, when we last looked at this. And White played bishop to b2, queen c7, knight b5, and White's really looks like she's getting somewhere in this game.
Yeah, those nice queenside pawns.
More space, blah, blah, blah. And Black takes with the pawn. I guess that's to limit the mobility of the white pawns.
I would have gone f3 instead of knight takes c6.
Okay. To
Push
avoid
those
exchanging pieces.
Yeah, I would have just push those black pieces back.
Okay, so f3. I like that move too.
Yeah, I think you just take territory with a very clear advantage.
These exchanges are maybe not leading to what a hoped for result here.
It makes it, the defense, they're not under as much pressure after that. So.
Right. It's a little too simple a way of playing. Black is more close to equality here. Centralizing queen move. I guess knight d4 might be met by knight c3 or something like that.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
A little bit funny here. White's thinking here. Or at least I think White is thinking. I'm only saying that because I'm not seeing the clocks move. All right, we'll come back to this then. With Kevin Sun versus Leon Quinn. And
Oh, let's look at that. Let's
yeah,
look at
we
that.
were
Maybe.
back here, I remember, and bishop takes e4, rook takes e4, knight d5. Rook c1, sort of keeping an eye on that c4 advance, right?
Oh, I would have gone rook e1, try to
Play
tile
rook,
over to the king side for
yeah,
checkmate.
yeah. I like
But
that.
okay, rook c1 is not too bad.
Bishop a1, is that getting out of the way of pawn to a6? That looks wrong. What about bishop a3 there? I guess knight c3.
Well, bishop a1's, yeah, a bit passive.
A6 anyway, of course. And white's just moving around kind of senselessly here. I think this rook c1 was ill-advised. And white should be playing rook g4 or something, right, Nick?
Yeah, something actually, because now black is getting the initiative. Black's starting to play on the queen side where black is better, and so
Knight b4 threatens queen b5. And now he gets the idea of playing over on the king side, but he's wasted about 5 moves.
yeah, you're in trouble with the white side. Now you know
f5.
you now you know you're desperate.
Well, white's getting a little something here. Was f5 the right move?
Well, yeah, I think it was the right
And
move.
maybe bishop should take on f6 instead of the rook?
You can argue that.
Yeah, okay. All right, now there. And white switches back over here, and it's starting to get tricky. White's dreaming of a sacrifice on d4 something, but what about knight takes d3? Oh, queen takes e6. Okay, so black is in the think tank here. Now queen b5, says Michael. But it's gotten kind of tactical, huh? What do you think of our two young heroes, Nick, in this game?
Yeah, no, it's great to see them play. It's so I think Leon won the last game between them. So, but maybe Kevin has a positive score. So it's each battle is epic.
And Kevin has some tricks up his sleeve here. Like queen e6, queen takes d3, queen takes f7 check.
Aha, okay. Queen takes e6. Look good. Um, and then can we play tricky? Queen takes e6, rook to b6.
I definitely like Black's play in this game. He's been much more principled, played sort of with his feet on the ground. And White's been indecisive and made some kind of moves that I would play, a little bit, phony baloney in some way.
But that bishop on a1 is not a good piece.
No, it's not.
So you're
So just let's sacrifice it at some point.
yes, maybe that's what he's looking at. Because queen takes e6, rook to b6.
He
Don't want to
plays
go
queen e6.
did it.
And then if queen
Maybe it's fine because rook b6, queen c4, just play an endgame that you're not better on, but you probably won't lose.
Okay. Or you could go back to b3, threatening knight e5. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us here um, um, at the Mechanics Institute. Late night, Tuesday night marathon.
So yeah, this is our we're again not so established as a lot of people, and Wands and Dejas started us up, somewhat before the pandemic. Um, so as opposed to other sites, what Paul, do you watch some of the other sites and what they do? Um,
I
Especially
mean,
those with like,
I watched some coverage of the coverage of the World Cup with Fresinet and then there's Nakamura who plays chess and Daniel Narajitsky. They play chess on the internet, and they have uh, um, they'll play bullet chess, which is very exciting, or various different things. Um, there's commentary on tournaments like what we're doing. So I mean, I don't watch a lot of streaming chess, particularly. Um, I've enjoyed watching. I'm really going to enjoy Svidler and Grisha commenting on the World Championship. I'm hoping that they do that for chess24.com. That's some of my very favorite commentary. Oh, and with John Gustafsson. The three of those guys are just not only entertaining, but I mean, Svidler and Grishuk are just brilliant commentators. So, boy, I wish they were here commenting on the TNM, Nick, sometimes, Nakamura visiting the coffee chess crew in Culver City. Is there a coffee chess crew in Scott? See, there's so much on the internet I don't know about, of course, but I'll give that a try for sure. All right, so these young geniuses, uh, and Grishik Thug Life compilation. Is that because he's got the shadow, the 9 o'clock shadow, or whatever it's called, the 5 o'clock shadow, and he's got a bit of a gangster kind of look to him. He's the only top chess player that smokes now, I think. So I'll watch I'll take a look at some of that. And then there's the cute Botez sisters, and there's all kinds of stuff. People like Agdamator, even though he's not a very strong player, he's entertaining, even if he's giving misguided advice. There's all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's a lid for every pot. What does Botez band mean? I don't know what that means. Not a fan of the Botez. It says, yeah. I mean, what I'm saying is that there's a lid for every pot. There's all kinds of ways to approach chess, and it's interesting to see the ways it's done. I'm a bit of a, even though this is not so much a traditional coverage of chess events per se, I like the Svidler Grishuk kind of serious chess commentary. I don't want to necessarily watch Nakamura destroy all comers at 15 seconds aside or something like that. It's not my cup of tea. So yeah. What about you, Nick? You watch any commentary at all? Oh, he plays Queen D3, Nick. He fell for it. It's unbelievable. After thinking for so long. he blunders into a simple combination against Kevin's son. That really surprises me. Nick and I gave a chess camp with this young man, and he's a very strong player. And so it's seeing this is maybe a temperamental issue that he had here. I'm not sure why. It's easy for anybody to overlook a tactic, that's for sure. But this is a bit tragic here. No, and you certainly don't have to be a grandmaster to be entertaining. It helps. You know, I'm a chess player that believes that the best commentary comes from the strongest players. Of course, they may not be the most entertaining, but if you want some good advice, you got to go to the top. You know, and absolutely, like if you watch the commentary by Grishuk, follow the lines that Grishuk is analyzing, or Svidler, they see things that are really, really remarkable. And people are asking if you're playing blindfold, Nick, or did you fall asleep? I think Nick might have fallen asleep, folks. and Svidler is an awesome commentator. Yeah. Yeah, and Grishuk is just brilliant. They can see things that are just remarkable. I don't know how to give Nick a nudge. Should I yell? Nick, wake up! He's actually fallen asleep. Oh, it's a little bit late in the evening here. Yeah, Queen B6 versus Shanklin. Well, I mean, Svidler is now in his mid-30s, and Shanklin is still. He's been there, done that kind of thing, and we can all make mistakes. I'm kind of referring to his analysis, and I think Nick did actually fall asleep. It's incredible. I'm not sure if the position put him to sleep or what, but it's a remarkable moment here in the club. We can all watch Grandmaster Nick DeFermian take a little snooze here. Yeah, I really want to see Shanklin go further here, for sure. All right, let's see. Poor Leon falling for this tactic. And you feel like you're watching the Truman Show. Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, you're not going to see this anywhere else. A grandmaster falling asleep during the commentary, truly remarkable. Highlight reel, yes, for Nick DeFermian. And yeah, Shanklin, but Shanklin has proven that he can take down a seven-time U.S. champion and a USSR champion. So yeah, Svidler and Grishuk and Gustafsson, those are my personal favorites that I've seen. I haven't seen everybody, of course, but let's see how this game is going. And this game does not look like it's going well for Albert here, who's down. Okay, yeah, this is not going well. And White makes a queen, and Albert is not giving up, and I guess we must have had, since this is an illegal move, I think we had a black um, resignation. Okay, and Hu Yifan, who gave a talk here at the um, uh, mechanics, was one of the most electrifying speakers. I thought, just brilliant. Um, I've never seen the chess room so packed as it was when she gave a lecture here. It was just really, really brilliant. So, and this is a classic thing here, folks. I mean, if only I could learn how to fall asleep on my feet, I'd be a healthier individual. I never learned how to do it, so I'm going to enjoy this moment. And Judah Pogar yeah, I've watched her as well. I mean, you know, the stronger the player, the more I'm going to sort of pay attention to the chess stuff that they're saying. You know, I like it when their commentary is reveals something about the way they think, not just a string of variations. Well, sometimes that can be interesting too. So, yeah, we're going to go right down to this board. This is board 3 of the under 2000 section. And these players are taking this game seriously here. We've gotten this, only gotten this far here, and it's quite complicated. See how this happened here. So white traded here and played a4, playing on a side of the board I'm not really expecting here. Black stops him with a5. That looks good. Knight comes into f5, rook e8. These are all reasonable moves. And the knight goes back to d7 to come to c5 maybe, where it should have been going in the first place. And now white's maybe got a little... and Johan... Okay, so this is interesting. h6 is played, giving white a bit of a target there to, you know, white can think about maybe sacrificing on h6, but it doesn't look quite sound. Well, this sets up the obvious knight g7 move, and black plays c3, and bishop f8 looks good too. I'm just, you know, preventing any sacrifice on g7 or h6 and making queen d2 look funny. I'm really kind of surprised at white's queen d2 move there. c3, okay. Takes. If white plays queen c3, bishop b4 wins. But white could take on e7 first and then take on c3. Black would develop pressure on the c file as compensation. So white sidesteps with queen e2, knight c5, and remember the knight could have been there a long time ago. And we're still thinking. Interesting game here. Okay, I'm going to move on here to back up to board 1. We have this really interesting interesting position here. Okay, so after f6, White plays knight takes d7. After a long thought, maybe thinking about knight g4 instead. Instead, off come the knights, and c5. All right, so that makes it past c pawn. Rook d8. Okay. Queen b5, and white is sort of trying to. The knight's going to come to e3, and that's going to be a nice square, but I'm liking black more and more here. And white doesn't want to trade queens. Trying to sort of, white's been trying to play a lot of complicated moves here. So it's interesting. And on board 2, all right, we've had a few moves here. After queen b3, black played queen c5 to get the queen off of the rook via the rook. White switches up with rook c1, black switches over to queen a5. Now the e7 pawn and the b7 pawn are both hanging. I think that, let's see, knight f4 winning, maybe. I mean, I assume black is going to play something like queen c4 or try to get out of. Yeah, I mean, it does threaten knight e6. It might be winning. I think black is sort of floundering a little bit. Maybe black would go back with queen b6 or something like that if knight f4. Knight f7 check, and the king could go to f7 maybe. Yeah, black has messed this up for sure. Now that white's regained the pawn and threatens queen takes e7, black defends that way, and white can, looks like white can play knight takes e7 here. Okay. All right. And we still have the sleeping grandmaster, which is, it's an interesting commentary on the. Oh, Nick's stream might be frozen too. That's true too. Nick and I know each other from way back. So it's we can gently rib each other here. And the TV is playing in his glasses. We can gently rib each other. We've known each other for a while, so I have no way of alerting Nick. Obviously, I can shout. And this is something you won't see anywhere else. And stay tuned. You never know what you're going to see at the Mechanics Institute Chess Club. And my boss Abel has come in, so he's here, and we're. As I said, I'm not going to give Nick. People are saying don't give Nick too hard a time, but maybe
we'll have him go night right here.
Maybe we'll take him off the stream.
Yeah, I think we might have to do that. Might be a good idea. Let's see.
I think he got tired of listening to my voice.
Yeah, it's like your analysis was like so.
My analysis was so
just
bad.
Wasn't doing it. Here.
Yeah.
We'll let him. He's working hard. He's working hard. Let's see.
The transition, and now a transition.
Yeah, just transitioning. We're gonna give you the top billing now. You're gonna be the main event.
All right.
All right. That's a good one.
Anything is possible at the Tuesday night marathon.
There you go.
Okay. We'll be. This is now. They're calling you a humanitarian. This is going to go down. This is going to go down in legendary. This is now going to be legendary.
It's like normally you don't see like the like.
Yeah. Somebody saying Nick is the casual player is saying Nick is calculating a deep variation. Ask him for the line in the morning, and you're getting the humanitarian award.
He's calculating beyond our
The funny thing
understanding.
was, somebody was Michael Walder saying he was always just frozen, but then somebody said, "Well, the TV's playing in his glasses." So he couldn't get away with that excuse. Yeah, anyway, on to the games, the actual games here at the Tuesday Night Marathon. I need one more thing, Abel. Oh, I guess I can just minimize here. Boom. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we're still getting back to the Tuesday Night Marathon. Black plays Rookie A. So 97 looks strong. I mean, I'm not sure what White is really thinking about here. Is there a move that I'm missing? 97, 93, then knight f5, double check, followed by queen g7 mate. So that's not working. I think White's maybe kind of just enjoying his position before he throws out knight takes e7. Okay. F4 looks good, yeah. I guess knight takes e7, black plays knight f7. And then there's a little bit of an issue there where if white moves the knight at e7, then black can take on e1. So maybe white can play pawn to b4. Yeah, pin on the e file, right? Knight e7, knight f7, but white can play b4 there. But then maybe black takes on a2, and black's hanging tough. All right. All right. I'm gonna take a look at another move here. Another game rather. This is our board 2. On board 4, we have this kind of interesting. Okay, so let's see what happened here. We left it off here with black trying to break through with f4 check, and white's trying to liquidate some pawns. Boom, boom. King g4. It looks like black's going to get in f4 check. White targets the a pawn, and black gets in the f4 check, but what does it do him? Actually, can black play e3 check, takes, and then f3? Threatening f2. And that's a possibility. e3, f takes e3, pawn to f3. I guess white can go back to king to e1. Doesn't look very convincing. This game looks like it should head to a draw. Sometimes the players get really determined to make something happen, and that can lead to, you know, risks being taken and somebody making a decisive mistake, and black is just content to, well, no. Tries to play rook c2, check. Doesn't it look better to take with the rook? But maybe not. How is black going to make progress here? Pawn e3 and create a mating. Rook a1 mate is an idea. White goes that way. I get that looks right to go that way. And of course, white can sacrifice his pawn for the bishop here. Black's probably thinking of, can I make bishop to d5 work or something like that, but this is heading for a draw. Folks, I'm having some peanuts, and just to prove that I am the peanut gallery personified. Yeah, maybe Black stood a chance of by playing e3 there and then f3. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, breakthrough is the only way to win these opposite colored bishop endgames often, to make a sacrificial breakthrough. And that's what he was trying. And that's what he could have tried, rather. Let's move on to board 5. And I think this game has gotten frozen in time, folks, because there hasn't been a move played and the clocks are not moving. So I'm going to just assume that this game is frozen in time and we're not going to come back to it. This game ended, unfortunately, for Black, who missed a nice tactic here. White played queen e6, and Black played, after quite a bit of thinking, played queen d3. And White shocked Black with queen takes f7 check. A nice little combination. And after king takes f7, knight e5 check, and Black had lost an entire rook. Not good. And can't play knight takes d3 because of rook takes b8. So the real disaster. And a bit of a surprise, as Black is a very talented young player, as is White.
Interesting results.
Yeah, we're going to enter some results into the DGT situation here. So I'm going to let Abel do that, and I'll continue. I'll just be the peanut. I'll be the peanut.
The peanut gallery.
I am the peanut gallery.
You are. Kevin's son.
Well, we're going to have a great conversation with Nick the next time.
Oh, that'd be great. It's like, man, that was some deep thought. I heard of deep blue. That was deep sleep.
The ultimate statement of my of his co-host.
Referendum.
His co-host. And this game was ended in a win for the white side. And we still have this complicated game going on here. I'm sorry. Between Brownlow and Uzakbayev on board. And Black has avoided the sacrifice on h6, which could have hurt him. This is a very interesting and complicated game that the players have been involved in here. Black's threatening to take on a4, and White's in the tank here. Doesn't really want to play bishop c5, probably. But it's an awkward situation. How do you defend a4? All right, we're going to move all the way back up to board 1. where White has played a very eccentric game here, trying to maybe bamboozle Nicholas. He's found a good square for the knight on e3. And White has a 3-1 pawn majority over there. Black needs to try to get something going here. Maybe to play bishop b7 and rook to d3 or something and make those rooks work on the open d file. Yeah, I like bishop to b7, hitting the queen, and then rook d3. I want to just throw that out there as an idea. All right, back up to board 2, where White did play knight takes e7, and Black has fallen back with the knight on to f7. So, from being a pawn down, White is now a pawn ahead, but Black has finally achieved some safety for his king. And the game, I mean, possibly a simple move like pawn to a3 here is the right move. This pin on the e file is awkward, but not deadly. Of course, on a3, Black could maybe play rook b8. And then, so this is not easy now for White. And his solution to try to to play queen b3 and queen b7, I'm not sure that was the right way for White to play. Queen d5 loses to rook e7. Oh, I'm sorry. Queen d5, yeah, queen d5. Oh, I like that move a lot. Of course, it threatens queen a5, but also to trade queens. And it defends a2. b4, queen a2, and then knight d5. I guess that's possible, but I'm not sure really where you're going after that. Interesting. Okay. Let's run up to board 4. This game was definitely going towards a draw here. And Black is chasing the white king out, but this rook e8 looks pretty simple here. And that would win the pawn at e3. Oh no, rook e8, e2. How about bishop takes e3, king e3, rook e8? That looks like it would pretty much solve all of White's problems here. All right, heading for a draw in my humble opinion. And this game got stagnated with the DGT issue. So we are down to this complicated game here with White still thinking what to do. All right, we're going to run back up to board 1. And Black plays queen b4. I think Black is kind of probably getting tired of sitting with his pieces on the back rank, and is sort of making a run for it here with queen b4. Well, queen g2 looks like a threat here, which hits the knight and the bishop at the same time, and making the queen work. And also, rook takes c5 is possible. When the tactics start coming, these young players really, they can know what they're doing. So knight d5, e d5, bishop. Wait, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Knight takes d5 here. What happens? Rook d5 loses instantly to queen e6. Has black just blown it here? Has to take with the pawn. And then bishop takes f6. Ugh. This is just a disaster for black. I guess, but it must play bishop f6, queen f6. Hitting the rook on d8, by the way. Rook c8. And then white can play queen e6 and queen d5. So, oh no. This is just... I think black misspoke here with this move. My feeling is that white is better placed here to use the c6 pawn or play pawn f5 than black is to get any counterplay with d4 and e3. This is looking like black is in some serious trouble here. All right, so rook, yeah, like I said, if rook dc8, then queen e6 check is going to pick up the d5 pawn. What's black going to do here? This was white messed around a bit, but has managed to put in a nice shot there, and black is in trouble. Did black have bishop b3? Let's try to see, like around here maybe? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm seeing where that might have come into play here. Like maybe if bishop b3, a b3, queen b3, they've only gotten, then white can move the bishop on b2 to d2. Let's see. Maybe play queen a3, defending the bishop on and trying to trade queens. I mean, it looks almost better than what was played. Now maybe bishop b3? Then, yeah, a, b, queen b3, queen a3, holding both pieces. Oh, then black can trade and play rook d3. So that's actually an interesting move. Huh. Okay, so bishop b3, a b3, queen b3, then maybe knight c4. Threatens queen takes e6 check. Okay, so let's try that. So bishop b3, a b3, queen b3, but white has knight c4 there. I think that might do the trick. Not queen a3 because of trade, and rook d3. All right. All right, well, we're trying to, but poor Nicholas has instead made it a little bit easier for white here in another way. So what should he have played after knight e3? My original suggestion was bishop b7 and rook d3. Although I can see that that's not good because of queen takes e6 check. So maybe rook c6? I don't know. I think white's gotten somewhere here. And maybe we'd have to look earlier to where black went wrong. Maybe trading on c5 is not good. Why open up the diagonal for the bishop? Even though it does open up the diagonal, the file for the rook. So there were a lot of complicated questions here that didn't quite get resolved in black's favor, I think. Rook c7 might have been wrong. And this certainly seems to have worked out well for white. Yeah, and in that position we were looking at, if Rook c6 back here, if Rook c6, then white maybe plays Queen a5, and then it's, yeah, and then maybe doubling on I don't know. I'm trying to find ways for black to play Rook to d3 and get the rooks active. Interesting. It's even possible that here black should have played Rook d3 or something like that. Bishop d5 has this, superficially looks like the right move, but may not have been correct. All right. We're still at bishop f6 with black in the think tank. On board 2, white did indeed play b4, and after queen a2 applied some pressure laterally with rook c7. Position, did that game end in a draw? So we are recording results. The Albert Star game, that also needs to be recorded.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was quick. No, yeah, I recorded.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. So white may just end up one pawn ahead if white can play queen takes a7 here. This is a funny game. Maybe the pin is no longer interesting for black, and black should play rook b8 and queen a7 and then trade and play rook takes b4. And then we're heading for a draw probably. a5 allows b5. That looks kind of dangerous for both sides. Yeah, black could play rook b8 here, I think, confidently. And if queen a7, just trade and play rook b4. White can play knight d5. Ooh, knight d5.
Yeah, somehow it's dangerous.
Ah, Nick, you're back, but we can't see you.
Oh.
Did you get frozen, Nick?
Let's get the video going.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. I have to get Abel back here. So hold on a second. But anyway, I'm glad we can at least hear you, Nick.
Okay, sorry, a bit of a...
That's okay. Let's see if Abel comes back. And in case, you can stay with us.
Are we moving now?
Can you see what's going on?
Yes, well, I have two computers, one for the broadcast.
All right, well, we're
action.
welcoming you back, but we're not seeing you. We have to wait for Abel to readmit you or to put you back on the broadcast. So, but we can all hear you.
Okay, well, that's
So,
good.
you know, it's as though you're talking to us on the telephone, so that's okay.
Haha. This game with for the one pawn that white's gotten it back and then crashing through.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what happened. Let's go back. Um, okay, Christian Clemens game. This game ended in a draw. Um, Chelsea. This game has got frozen. I think the only games left, Nick, are this game, which which is quite complicated, and White's been thinking now for quite a while here. Or, and Nicholas Wayne got shocked by Bishop f6 here.
Yeah, Nicholas Wing has been playing so well, but suddenly,
Yeah,
boom.
this one didn't go well. And
There's
Black's
no
rook,
way.
this just he just fell for a simple tactic. Did you and you saw how poor Leon fell apart.
Oh, let's see that. Let's see that. It was looking good for
That was
the
a
white side.
tragedy, Nick. Um, After Queen e5, Queen b5, Queen e6, he blundered with Queen d3.
Queen D3 and ooh, okay, you got me. Why is that a blunder? Oh, there's the knight on F3. Oh my God. I couldn't see that.
And White slammed him with Queen f7 check,
Oh my God. Yes. That's
winning,
the
winning
end.
a whole
This is the
rook.
end.
Winning a whole rook. So
You know, this,
Kevin's son was alert to the possibilities, and Leon was asleep at the switch
yes, yes.
and resigns.
Yeah. I mean, a whole rook down, there's nothing you can do.
And it does feel good to play moves like Queen takes f7. I mean, that's why we play chess. I think, you know, the slam down Queen takes f7 check every once in a while. And then all the previous insults that we felt in life are suddenly disappear for a moment. And
Yes, yes. Strange chess is an emotional game that way.
it is indeed. But you can't get too emotional about it because then your emotions get in the way, and so you always have to balance it. I mean, chess teaches you that, at least about chess.
Oh, yes.
Totally redeemed myself.
No, it's a harsh game. You know, it teaches you all about battle in life and such things.
Um, okay, so
Who
and Albert
who
Starr
was
got destroyed. So let's go back up to Nicholas's game, and after Queen f6, okay, Black took on f6, Queen f6, and then played rook e8. Okay, that's a good move. I like it. And White switched up with Queen d6. Doesn't c6 look like... Well, this is becoming very complicated, but Queen d6 makes sense because it attacks the rook and the d-pawn.
Yes, yes.
And then came Queen d4 check, King h1, and the rook went to c8, but now it looks like... Okay, so there's an attack on the c-pawn. What's going on here? Queen e6 check and rook d1, or rook d1 right away?
Very complicated there. That's
Yeah, because there might be a back rank mate here.
Yes, very complicated. Like rook b1 can go c5.
So like if rook fd1, black could play rook c5.
Looks like it. Queen to e, um, 6 check, king to g7. Still complicated.
And then f5, should white switch over to attack with queen e6 and f5, or f5 right away?
Um, yeah, the tactics take quite a bit of thought.
In that case, we should move on, right?
Oh, that's great.
That's been my standing joke, Nick. Let the players figure it out, you know? There's nothing to see here. Let's move on. Of course, we should always try to... and I like that idea that the casual player has just come up with, and that is to play c6. Or b4, queen b4, queen d5. Both those ideas look good to me.
You know, I like c6, trying to pin them down.
Yeah, c6 is a great move.
Tie those rooks down. If you can just get a little times white, surely you're winning. But okay, after c6.
Queen d3, then rook fd1. Can he try rook c6 again?
Yeah, that maybe those back ranks, but c6, queen d3. Can you just go rook h3 or something?
Uh-huh. And then queen b5. Because d5 is defended by the queen, and I'm threatening to take on c6.
Yeah, maybe somehow something should be good for the
And I
white
like it,
stuff.
and I think white should go on the attack. Michael says it, so I'm going to go agree. F5, go for it. Go for the attack. Just open them up like a can of tomatoes. And for anybody tuning in right now, I have Nick DeFermian with me on the telephone. He's not really on the telephone. He's on the broadcast, but he's invisible at the moment. We'll try to put Nick back on the broadcast.
Oh, yeah?
Nick is returned, so I'm going to let my boss come in
Yeah.
and put him back.
Put him back in.
That's
Back into the game.
Abel Talamentes, director of the chess club.
Back into life, yes. Thank you,
Hey,
Abel.
Nick. Hey, what's up? What are you doing? Yeah, let's see here. Let me get it back on here. I feel bad for you can't see the game, but Chelsea was like trying to hold a draw and then kind of just slipped up in the end against.
And why did her game stall as well?
They started playing on the wrong board.
Right, but their game was recording for a while. And then
Yeah,
it
but they
stopped.
set the pieces back up to the beginning and then moved to the next. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, there was a comedy of errors going on here in the beginning. Hey, you know what? It's live TV, live TV. Yeah, man.
Falling asleep during the...
Hey, you know what? It's part of the atmosphere. The Mechanics Institute. we
It's
have
bad.
we have atmosphere here.
We're serious but casual.
Serious, serious but casual. All right, all set. I'm gonna let the chess folks do what they do, and that's it. Should be
Thank
good.
you, Abel.
Oh, yeah.
What was that song? I was in the right move. Must have sat down at the wrong board.
Must have been the right place in the wrong time. Isn't that a song by Dr. John or something?
Yeah.
Right place, wrong time. I love that song.
Enter a result.
And Abel's back here entering a result,
A result for a game that you didn't even see.
a game that we didn't see.
Andrew Gould.
Okay. So White has played B4.
I like it so positional in this tactical position. You just guard the C5 pawn.
Now black has to get something going here. Take that B4 pawn. Just take it. I mean, you have to. Otherwise, your rooks are doing nothing.
You probably have to take that pawn.
Yeah, your rooks are just doing nothing there on C8 and C7 unless you take that pawn.
You take on D5 check, king to G7 or something, and I guess you go pawn to C6. I don't know what else to do.
Mike Walder, Gulko fam, we believe in giving up pawns with check if we have to do it. You know what I mean? We have no shame.
I guess you're trying to draw with black. King to G7, queen E5 check, king to G8. Yeah, that's you go. Ooh, on to F5 would be harsh.
I agree, but black had to do this. I mean, I think.
Yes, and you want to tie down black with pawn to C6, but you can add another attacker.
Yeah, this is going White's way for sure. Let's move on to board 2 for a second here. Rook C7 was played, rook at HF8, and then H3. So the question of these two pawns on the queen side has not been resolved yet.
I suppose you won't matter that much with, you're doubled on the 7th rank. You've got the knight on E7.
It looks like White's just doing what he's supposed to do, but now we're going to get this. Okay. What does this gain White apart from avoiding the exchange?
Yeah, avoiding the exchange is the main thing. It's
Knight D5 maybe is the idea, to target F6 or something.
you still have to win with the white side.
Black has put up some great defense in this.
Yes, you're still alive. You're hanging on, and your opponent needs to find the knockout punch, but each move that you survive makes that harder and harder.
All right. Now, I think we only have one other game to look at here, and that is this game from the third board in the under 2000 section. Samuel Brownlow versus Nursultan Uzakbayev. And after long thought, White played F3. And Black played Knight takes A4. What was the point of F3? To fortify the center before playing D4? But I'm not sure of this game.
You are down. I mean, let's just go pawn to B5 or something.
This was White started off. Somebody's asking you about the opening. It was a Caro-Kann where White played D3. and King's Indian Attack versus the Caracal, which Bobby Fischer has played. And other, it's trotted out occasionally if you want to avoid theory. And anyway, in any case, that was the opening. The center got closed a little bit. Black attacked on the queen side. White made some moves on the king side. This queen d2 was about as blunt as you can get, with the idea of playing knight takes g7. Black threw in c3, which was kind of interesting. White took and didn't take on c3 because of bishop b4, but could have taken on e7 and then taken on c3, but instead decided to sidestep with queen e2.
Well, he could have gone knight h6 or not.
Yeah, that's true too. Knight h6 check. I was thinking about that myself. King h7 and then queen e3 maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And that would have followed up with his idea that he had by playing queen d2. Of course, black could play bishop c5 there. Maybe it's not good. In any case, white sidestep with queen e2. Black moved knight c5. And white played bishop e3. And black preserved the bishop for defense, which I think this was a good move.
yeah, yeah.
And white played on this side of the board. I think white maybe and black played this good move, queen d7. And I think white overthought here, thought for almost over half an hour and played f3.
Yeah, it's something. F3 must be wrong.
Knight
you're being
a4.
passive.
And then g4.
Okay, must be good for white, but
For black, you mean?
oh, sorry, for black, but white is hoping for some sleazy tactic. It's,
Right. Like if bishop f5 takes back, e takes d4, queen c4 check, and picking up the knight,
well done, well done. Yes.
even though you might lose the bishop at e3.
Yeah, I mean this position just must be good for the black side.
So I can see white probably thought that if black plays e takes d4, knight takes d4, and then the g4 pawn is defended.
Yes, e takes d4 would be playing into white 10, and there'd be some compensation for the pawn. So
On the other hand, you don't want white to necessarily play d5, or can black allow that and just play bishop f5 in response, and then I mean maybe black should just play b5 here or something.
yes, somehow.
And I was thinking of this move too, this funny knight b2.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, this is an entertaining game, and we'll come back to it. Let's see how this game on board one is going, though. The heavy hitters on board one. So we had this, and white plays rook c4, Nick. Black plays back to b7, and white's in the think tank.
B7 is, it's. I didn't think that black would survive this. Queen b7 is good if you're getting rid of that c5 pawn.
But maybe queen b2 on the long diagonal. Yeah, I like queen e5 check. Oh, white's going into an endgame? Oh, I see. 2 pawns ahead.
Pawns?
Doesn't white have rook e7 and rook a7 at the end? That's a greedy
Yes, you're right.
move.
It's actually two pawns. It's hard to believe. But Queen E7 trades King F6.
Yeah, tried not to lose the A pawn.
Um,
Oh no, we're getting some DGT nonsense here.
oh well.
So we'll come back to this. I'm hoping that the game will resolve itself.
Well,
Let's
that
go.
was a queen trade on E4,
There
certainly.
was, yeah. Let's go back to this on board two.
Oh, here we're looking for
Black
some.
Black played Queen D2, Queen E6, Rook B6. Where's White? What's White doing with all this stuff? This moving about.
You're looking for some knockout tactic here.
Like Knight C6.
Looks like a good move. Looks like Black must be really tied up there.
I like that. You don't hear too much that word shame used as a chess in a chess context. I like it. Shameful to allow a certain move. Rook B6. Yeah, yeah. Chess doesn't usually have that word attached to it, but I like it. It's you know, to make a moral stand on a chess move is great.
The knight c6, but Black has done a great job of holding on in a position that just should have been smashed. Holding things together, just put that rook on f8, hold the b side, and we're now trying to push the white pieces away.
Black
I
has
mean,
still
knight
got some
c6.
issues. Yeah, I want to put a shout out to Mike Walder. Nick and I are really happy that you are with us in the evenings here to keep us awake and keep us honest. Basically, to keep us honest. It has to do with honesty at this point. All right, interesting position. Let's go back down to we're only looking at 3 games now. This game where after knight b2, the astounding knight b2, White did play d5, and Black took on f5, and now says, I'm going to cement that knight at b2 into your position. So what about this, Nick?
Well, you know, the problem is you want to get that Black b pawn coming up the board. And
Rather than the A pawn, huh?
you know, why not b5 instead? So if bishop to f1, rook f to b8.
Keep the pawns moving in tandem with each other, folks. That's what you
Yes,
want. You want your you want your pawns moving like tandemly, not one getting too far ahead or too far behind or something like that, you know. Keep
well,
the
I
pawns
think
in a
that
close dance with each other.
that looks like it could be quite a mistake. Bishop to f1, and suddenly White's starting to own the light squares. And that Black b pawn on b7 is just doing nothing. So your nice three connected pawns there are all split up.
Bishop f1 is a terrific move. Maybe intending queen b5 even. But I don't know. White's got a long ways to go here to get into this game. I think.
Well, yeah, I really don't like that a4 move.
Yeah, black missed a perfect opportunity to play pawn to b5 here. Okay, we're going to back up to board one. Oh no, we still have this GGT mess here. All right.
Okay, let us this position.
Well, obviously,
Black queen is not on the board.
black
It's
queen
it's
is
a
not on the board, and the white rook is at e4. But there's no way for me to put that on the board. I'm following the DGT issue here.
can you make a couple more moves? It's on the DGT.
No, we're stuck here.
Oh, it's stuck. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to board two. And he played knight c6, which seems foolish because I recommended it.
Yeah, I mean that bottles up that black rook.
Both players are. I mean, this is both players are in trouble here. It looks like almost.
Well, it's hard to think that white's in trouble with.
Yeah, I know. But the knight's pinned. The queen is tied down to the defense of the rook at e1. What's black's idea here?
That is a tough question and an excellent question. What can black actually do? You can't move the rook on f8. Queen can't do much. That rook on b6 is pinning the knight, but you need something else.
And the black king can't really go to a useful square like g8 or h6. Doesn't look very. It's just nothing. And white can follow up with rook e3, as Michael points out. Maybe,
yes,
maybe black's in trouble here.
Oh, well, white still should have that winning bind. Is there? But black he's alive longer than I thought he would be. So let me find a defense for black. Wow, it's tough. Queen to f4.
Ooh, I like that move. I was at least has the idea of taking the rook. Then what? Rook a7.
Yeah, you could probably just grab the pawn, rook a7. How about if we're just greedy, pawn to a6? Just hold the pawn and
then
okay,
put the ball in white's court. What can white do?
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe rook e3 as Mike Walder says, but you know, then it's black's move, then there's checks. There's
It's yeah. This is an odd game. I mean, knight c6 is a self-pinning move, and you don't often see that idea, you know. And it's a pretty sophisticated idea that you can voluntarily pin yourself. It's not a move that it's a little bit of a thinking outside the box kind of move.
yeah, it's definitely the best move, you know, tying things up, and black needs something.
I'm gonna go up to Nicholas Wang. Oh, this is too bad. We're not gonna see the end of this game because of DGT issue. Let's take a look at, and actually, we have a DGT problem on board one. What, for some reason, it got stuck on black. After queen d5, I'm sorry, after queen c6, No. Wait, let's see. Queen takes e4. Black must have played. There must have been an exchange on e4 here. Instead, we've got queen c6, queen d5, completely unreliable. Queen d5, rook e4. These moves don't make any sense. Thank you, casual player. Black plays queen c3. In this game. And we're still waiting for, so after a4, white played bishop f1, as Nick suggested, rook a5, maintaining some control, bishop b6, and we're going to try to resolve the board one position right now. Here we go.
Thanks for the follow. Who's following? Somebody's following. Oh yeah, go for it. We have authenticity on our broadcast.
Arms and Diaz to the rescue.
Sí. So it's after number 33? After like that? Let me see. 33. Queen takes e4. Good. Queen takes 6. Queen takes e4.
So black played queen takes e4.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm. And white played rook takes e4. Mm-hmm. But there shouldn't be a queen on e5.
Let me go back to 33. 33. So, okay like that, right? And then
Now
black.
here black played queen takes e4.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Right.
Now let's see.
White played rook
Oh, yeah.
takes.
Uh,
Okay.
I got up to 39,
Good.
which is rook
They've played more moves.
d4.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why that happens.
Let me double check.
Okay. Good.
You think it's
Got
like,
it up to here. Look at that. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Warren. Okay.
double check? Let me know if something is happening.
And I can just minimize this.
Yeah. Or close it. No, do that one. That one.
Close.
No, minimize it only.
All right, Nick. We have this game. This is
Okay,
our board
okay,
one
the,
game. Let's see
We
what.
got to a rook ending.
So
and
what
it
happened?
is-
What happened, Nick, was in this game was black exchanged and then didn't play a5 here, which looks like the normal move he took, and black is struggling 2 pawns down.
Yeah, that he gave that he took on c5 a bit too quickly there. So all right. Yeah, it's tough. 2 pawns. But those black rooks are active. White threatens checkmate with rook to e7. Now, first guards.
Right.
Threatens checkmate, takes.
So what's the end game like after rook f4, rook f4? Is that a draw?
Well, take the pawn on h7, check. You
Right.
know, take the second one, yeah. May as well. Um,
Although black
so
has
you're,
two rooks now.
yeah, but you're 2 pawns up,
Right,
so
right.
ought to be winning. Ought to be winning here.
Okay, so white's. So here we are, board one of the Tuesday night marathon.
Well, that's a good check. So if you could get to a single rook ending, 2 pawns up, that'd be easy. Have it go back to G5, just, keep annoying them.
And going back here, it looks like black might have missed a good move here with pawn a5.
Yes, it was just
And then,
grabbing the pawn on C5 right away was such a mistake. Temptation. Probably draw with pawn to A5.
so black is wondering if king g5, h4 check,
And king to G. Oh,
but then rook
oh.
takes h4.
And then rook.
White, it's check. So rook h4.
Oh, it's check, so you have to
So it's a
trade.
draw, huh? Because black takes at a2 at the end of that.
Yes. So king G5 just makes it tricky. You're trying to survive. I mean, you shouldn't 2 pawns down, but
King g5, king h2, but then rook doubles on the g pawn.
and then you can do your H4 check.
Ah. Actually, that's Mike's h4 check.
Ah,
Actually, no, that's Chess Lover's h4 check. So kudos to you. We're trying to make it work. Chess Lover.
must be winning for white, but there can be tricks. So, and king G5, yeah, it's the type of move that it gives your opponent chances he thinks to checkmate you, but has to think. And if you can somehow just weasel 1 pawn back, you'll make a draw. Okay. Good practical move.
All right, we are going to run to board 2 here, where black, after knight c6, played queen c3.
I like the idea of pawn to A6, rook to E3, then pawn to A5. So if they take, the rook comes to B1 check. I don't know if queen C3 was sleazy enough.
Played rook e3, queen c1, king h2, and queen went back to c2, hitting the f2 pawn.
Queen C2. So if rook to F3,
Yeah, rook f3.
then you have to guard it like queen to B2. It's just and then you can get out of the pin. Maybe you can also just take that A pawn with rook takes A7. Much active white pieces.
Yeah, looks like white's improved his position a little bit here.
And the king is safe on A2.
All right. I have to hand it to the much lower rated player here, Richard Liu, outrated by many, many rating points for holding on here for as long as he has. And now White's going for the big triple, Nick. The big triple.
Big triple. It sounds like a movie. The big triple.
King H6. The big triple, yeah. White's moving in for the kill here. So if Queen F2, what's the knockout after Queen takes F2? Rook E7, Queen F4 check. That doesn't look like it's completely clear. Oh, Rook F3. And then ganging up on F7. Whew. Well, White's going to get the A7 pawn too in that variation. And Knight D8 coming up. Yeah, Queen T7 looks like a good move. It's tricky getting in here, though, isn't it? Nick, we can't.
Yeah,
we
it's tricky
can't,
getting in, but okay, we need somebody
we
to
can't
find
see
a
your face,
shot.
Nick. We can only see your neck.
Yeah, it's your something must be there to knockout blows coming up. But,
All right, let's go back up to board one here.
ideas. Rook E7, pawn to B5. Okay, simplified board one.
White is winning here on board one without a doubt here.
Two clear pawns up. Can you go back a few moves to see
Yeah,
how he liquidated?
I will. So it went going all the way back here. Black headed out to the middle of the board with King E5. And
That was a mistake. Mistake. Go back king to D5. Oh, well. He was trying to get safety for the
play
king.
King F4. But then Rook F6.
He should have gone king to G5.
Yeah, he should have gone king to G5 back here.
Yeah. You don't want safety for your king, but when you're lost, you have to take risks.
This just loses easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So rook E7 check, good move. You trade and take on G6, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Two connected pass pawns. They'll slowly march up the board. That black king is cut off from helping out.
Yeah,
so,
it's terrible. All right, we'll go back. Let's go quickly down to board 9 here, because I want to see what's going on in this complicated game here. Let's go back to where White played Bishop F1. Black plays Rook A5, now with the idea of playing B5, I guess. But White tries to trip him up with this, but gets met with that. And we get this trade, and White plays Queen E3, attacking the Rook. And the Black Queen defends. And White plays Rook A3, attacking the pawn at C3. And Black gives it up.
Oh, why'd you give up that pawn?
I don't know, just double rooks.
No.
Just double rooks on the C file. This
That
makes no sense.
It just holds all the white forces back. So just double on the C
Bad
file.
blunder. Takes. A3.
Okay, so
and that,
white is
Now
back in the
goes another
game.
pawn. Or wait a minute, bishop b5 is no good because of queen b6 check. So yeah, my boss is entering another game here. We have Abel, and we're on board one, white one. Poor Nicholas really. We'll just take a look at the final position here. And black resigned after h4. Okay. Back here.
Yeah,
Back here
there
to
was nothing to be
a3.
done.
Well, I mean, this position's complicated. Maybe queen b3 or something. But certainly bishop b5, losing the bishop is... Oh, but, well, queen a3. Maybe white had gone to the wrong square with the queen after check. Should go to h1 or something?
You could have just doubled. I mean, queen takes a3. You could go rook b8.
Yeah.
And with pawn to c4 of complicated things.
I doubt
maybe.
it. Look at this knight d1 move. I enjoy seeing knights in unusual positions.
Gotta like that. Gotta like that. Just charging forward, threatening knight e3 with a mating attack, and white needs to do something really, really fast. Queen f2 checks also a move.
Plays queen c5, trying to cover all the bases.
Queen c5, knight e3. Is that it?
And look at the knight's maneuver from d1 to e3 to f1, Nick. That's actually gorgeous.
Knight f1 check. Okay, that's
Is it mate?
okay. King to
Queen
h2,
to
h2. Knight h. Queen h2. Okay, that's...
So if rook f1, queen g2 check,
Yeah.
and white says, what are you doing? I'm going to just play d6, but of course that loses that pawn with check. This is getting dire. This is getting bad here. Well, you know, too many things are getting lost here. That drops...
That's a lot of pawns.
But doesn't that drop the knight to queen d5 check? Indeed it does. We're getting the comedy of errors here.
You are back in the game with
Look at
that
this.
strong d-pawn.
And black block, instead of playing something that looks reasonably better like rook d8, plays queen d7. White dodges out with queen b4. That's an odd move, and black throws in f5. This game is quite entertaining.
Yes. Yes. Okay, the white king is not safe, but that d-pawn is strong.
They're doing the hokey pokey, Nick.
Ooh, okay.
They're
now
dancing the
f4.
hokey pokey.
I think so too. Okay, now e4, queen g4 check. Oh, now black should have a winning attack again. It's queen h3 check and pawn to e4.
Black is in total control of this game.
But when you can check, you can do it. But I'm not sure we've seen the last of the complication.
No, rook
somehow
A,
that-
and somebody's pointing out rook a8 is strong here. Chess lover.
Yeah, rook a8.
Rook a8. Oh,
Or
what?
queen f3 check
He's going
first,
back
and
with
then
queen h3, though. Maybe
I'd go-
content with the draw. We have no idea. Remember, black only has 11 seconds. Oh, I don't
It
think
is.
you can see that. But I can see that black only has 11 seconds. Oh, white plays rook g2, allowing f3. What's going on here?
Okay. F3 would end the game, should end the game.
This is incredible stuff here.
What? Okay. Oh, there's really nothing. Queen B2, you go queen H1 check. Queen G4.
And Nick is trying to hold the game here.
Oh, it must be lost, but we've seen a lot of turnarounds. So just stay alive and hope.
Stay alive, staying alive. Anything can happen. And on board 2, speaking of staying alive, we had this happen. That looks decisive to me.
These knight moves.
And if Queen E1 check, I suppose Rook F1, Queen E3, King H1. So he plays Rook D6. Wow.
Rook D6. Okay,
That's great move.
and you go out. That's
My head is spinning with the way these guys are playing chess here. I swear, look at this move. I mean,
yeah, that okay.
that's a
That
really
knight
nice
D8
move.
was a tactical mistake.
Flagged.
Oh no, who flagged?
Or Sultan.
Okay, so black. Oh, that's unbelievable.
Right there. Right there.
Black flagged in this position.
Flagged. Yeah, flagged.
Black flag?
Yes.
Flagged. Yeah.
Isn't that
Oh.
isn't that a rock band from the 80s? Black Flag, the Black Flag.
Well, wasn't that like a
That was one
raid
of,
or something? Wasn't that?
it was one of the main LA punk bands was Black Flag.
You get a little of everything here in the TNM
I
broadcast.
think this is Nick. Largely owing to you, Nick. This has been my favorite broadcast of all.
Sorry about this. Okay.
Oh, white flagged.
Okay. More just.
Well, wait a minute now. What? How come he said that black flagged? Yeah, go find out. Go. He just entered the. I think Abel might have entered the wrong result. I don't know who flagged here. I think black flagged, but Abel put in the result as a win for white. So as a win for. Here he comes. Yeah, he put in as a result as a win for black, and actually it was a win for white.
It was a win for white on time.
On time. It was not a just result, but it was a result.
Yeah.
Poor black.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just.
Oh.
The other way. Yeah. Just minimize. Yeah.
Okay. So in fact, it was black flag, which sounds like a something you would squirt on a cockroach, right?
Yeah, I think that is known. Yeah, insect killer.
Yeah, an insect killer. All right. Okay, so back up to board 2, the only remaining game. And after knight d8, queen e5 check, king g1, and black played rook d6, and white played rook d3, and I think white looks like he's maybe losing now.
D3. It's Now you could do. Oh no, you can't do rook takes d3, queen takes d3, queen takes c7 because of
Knight e6 check.
96.
Wow, that's a nice tactic, Nick.
So.
But of course, you just take the queen and win, probably.
Yes. Rook takes D7, and if rook
Well, this
on
is
D
a
takes D7, you
tremendous.
have rook takes D8.
This is a tremendous upset win for this. As Black just needs to be careful here, but he should be winning, I think. Oh, Queen
Yeah,
take.
rook
Not
takes D8 is the end.
yeah. Not Queen takes C7. A big swing and also a big rating differential. He played Rook D8. Oh, look at this. He's got Rook C5, Nick. Then Rook D5, obviously. Oh, this is maybe better.
Almost sliming your way out, but
Black has to find Rook D5, but it's not that difficult.
be able to do it.
He's checking around first. I mean, can he really be overlooking Rook D5? That would be tragic. What a
Maybe he'll
game.
play King F1 and they'll repeat moves. But Rook G5, yeah, just resigns.
And H4 check. I mean, Black gave some White a little something to pray for here.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it's not quite there. H4 check King.
F5, G4, King E6, Rook C6, Rook D6. Black played for fire there. He really did.
Let's go G4. Oh, he should have gone G4. He's sliming, hoping for Rook C5, H4 mate. Hey, that might have been tricky.
Oh, yeah. Instead of H4.
Yeah, now I don't see the tricks here.
Ooh, that was really nice. I want to show folks that. So, White could have tried G4 here. And if Rook takes C5, H4 mate.
G4 is tricky. You know, that's what do you do? Because if you move there's
How
no
about Queen
queen
F4 check? How about Queen F4 check, Nick?
Okay. I'm sorry. Yes, I didn't see a queen check, and that is a very good one.
Hey, Arthur, thank you for joining us. Wow, this is a fantastic game by Black. I'm sorry. I mean, he was probably lost at
Oh,
several points.
absolutely lost.
At several
Yes.
points during this game, but he never gave up, and he kept throwing sand in his opponent's face with his back to the wall and defended like a madman. And he's scoring a great upset here.
Yeah, incredible. As you say, just the will to defend like that
Yeah,
is
he played a
fantastic.
really nice defensive game. Black can just take the B pawn, and the game is over. A nice game by Black. I mean, not I mean, just defensively kept up the pace here.
Yeah, I mean, keeping your keeping cool,
And
not getting desperate.
Michael, you're absolutely right. No one ever won a game by resigning.
I mean, I saw someone win a game by offering a draw, but but not by resigning.
How did that happen, Nick?
Well, there was one game where someone offered a draw, and the opponent said, "Well, make a move," and then the opponent made this really great move, and the guy went into a tank, because, oh God, he's realized he's getting mated and he just resigns, and he forgets that he could just accept the
Oh,
draw.
right. Gosh, what a that's hilarious. This was the game of the round, I think.
losing.
Well, he was, I think, but I mean, yeah, he was certainly losing, but it was really a good defensive effort by Black, who really hung in there. So,
Wow.
hey everybody, thanks for joining us here at the 2TNM. This was really an amazing evening, I think, in a lot of different ways. And just want to thank everybody for showing up and hanging with us for all or part of this. It was a comedy of errors, but that's what makes chess interesting. A lot of fun was had along the way, and we hope to see you next week. Actually, Thursday, we're also broadcasting the Thursday night marathon live with Nick and I as well, so please show up for that as well. That was we have Grandmasters Gadir Gusenev as well as Grandmaster help me, Nick, Alexander Lenderman are both playing in that tournament. So join us Thursday at 6:30 here on Twitch, and we'll entertain you once again. All right, I'm going to sign off. I need help actually doing that, but I'm going to say goodnight to everybody, and let's see if I can figure out how to do it. I'm going to stop streaming, and bye everybody.